Hi, welcome to Enjoy Living. If you are new to the channel, my name is Daniela, and today I thought we'd do a little update, check-in, long COVID progress video. And honestly, I've been wanting to create this video for so long, but I've been feeling a little bit intimidated because there's just so much to cover. It's been so long since I created my 13-month long COVID video. And it's just, there's so much has happened that it's hard really to know where to begin. I'm going to try and keep this video as short as possible, just hitting the points that I think are most important or have been most significant to me. But if there's anything I don't cover or anything you're interested in, I am happy to receive any kind comments below, any kind questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. Or we could even do a part 2 to this video. So before I begin, just a quick disclaimer. The purpose of me creating this video is simply to share my experience. I'm not giving any advice. This is simply what my journey has been like. I have found it so helpful over the last 2+ years when hearing of others going through similar experiences. Because long COVID, it turns your world upside down. I think any situation when you're facing or dealing with chronic illness, which asks you to withdraw from your life in order to focus on healing and recovery, it's going to be very emotionally and mentally challenging. And the purpose of this video is simply connecting, one human to another going through the same experience and just helping to give a little hope, a little connection that you're not alone. And there's so many of us around the world going through this experience. It may not be that we know anyone personally, but I don't know if ever there has been such a scale of people facing the same health challenges at the same time. But obviously saying that, we are all unique, we all have our own unique body, our own unique journey. And in that regard, your healing journey, your healing timescale is going to be unique to you. All right, so let's jump straight in. I'll just start with a little bit of background so you do know where I'm coming from. I caught COVID back in March, end of March, beginning of April 2020. So if we're able to cast our minds back all the way to then, at the time, there wasn't really any information. There was certainly no information on long COVID, and we were told to stay home, isolate. I got a pretty intense time of it during COVID. Luckily, I was not hospitalized. I did not have to be hospitalized, but I had about 3 weeks. Best way I can describe it was a very intense flu. Pretty much left me bedridden for 3 weeks. Very intense coughing, fever, chronic fatigue, all that good stuff. But after 3 weeks, I thought, I'm over the worst of it, and I expected to have a steady strengthening, body strengthening, a steady recovery after that point. But in fact, it was the opposite. It had been a slow and steady decline. And I have to admit, I was very resistant and very much in denial. I'd say the first year. I mean, obviously I didn't really know about long COVID for a good few months following my initial infection. But even once, information started to circulate, I was very much in denial that my body was weakening, and I fought with all my might. I tried to maintain some semblance of normal life, of a work life. Being a yoga teacher, I really did try to just jump back in, and I was really, really fighting against my body. And I mean, that might be one of the contributors to the fact that it has been 2+ years, and I'm only now starting to really surrender to this healing experience, to feel the benefits of taking this time of healing. But yeah, you live and you learn. But if there was one piece of advice I could give myself, if we could turn back time, would be to just surrender sooner and not fight so hard. Just allow myself to rest, allow my body to go through the experience that it needed to, rather than thinking I had to cling on and pretend that everything was fine. Oh, and I'll mention as well that like a lot of people, I really struggled to get medical support, especially initially. I felt very lost. I did not know where to turn. I never experienced any health issues in the past, never really had to contact my doctor or get any medical support or help of any kind. And that was a real learning experience. I have to admit, it was a huge challenge, and I felt very much in the dark for a lot of the time. And I just thank God for all those doctors that were sharing information online and on YouTube, because that really helped to provide guidance and spread knowledge. I will link some of them below because I did find them so helpful. So if you, I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard of most of them now, but just in case you haven't, there is some wonderful information online. But yeah, I really, really struggled to get help. In the end, I found that the best approach for me was just getting loads of testing done, any testing I could through my doctor, privately, and then sourcing assistance based on that. So whether it was through my doctor or therapies like craniosacral therapy, laser therapies, supplements, any medications to help support my body. But it was a bit of, you know, had to really take an active role in sourcing that help for myself. And I know that's probably something a lot of people can relate to, is really, really struggling to get assistance, to get help, and just feeling like you're in a constant battle all the time, to, you know, having to explain yourself and, yeah, really fight for any assistance at all. Which, yeah, has been an extra added challenge on top of, you know, when you're feeling weak, when you are depleted, it is really hard to advocate for yourself. So that has been a real eye-opener, I'm sure, for lots of us. But yeah, I'll just cover my most debilitating symptoms were, well, firstly, GI issues. That's probably the symptom that has really affected my life the most, and one of the symptoms that, you know, one of the initial symptoms that really hit my body. So I had it all, and I've made no secret of the fact that I've had extreme digestive issues, and it's pretty much as if my whole digestive system has been on strike. It was like, nah, I'm done, nothing going in, nothing going out. In addition, SIBO, stomach ulcer, constipation, struggle eating, so pretty much the whole works. And that really has affected not only my strength and my ability to heal, but also my physical appearance. I've been on a mostly pure diet since, well, I've been on and off throughout this journey whenever my symptoms were really intense, but pretty much consistently since September 2021, which obviously has affected my physical appearance a lot. I experienced drastic weight loss, which I think is pretty normal when facing extreme digestive issues, and I have spoken about this openly, but a little side note, I did receive my first nasty comment about my weight loss just yesterday. Hello, YouTube, I suppose, a big welcome to me. Yeah, I think, you know, when you're facing such a prolonged period of chronic illness and recovery, your body is going to change. You know, there does seem to be a divide between people who've experienced weight gain and people who've experienced drastic weight loss. I can obviously only talk from my own experience, which was that I have had a lot of struggle. I have had a lot of difficulty eating and drinking over the last 2 years. But, you know, that is starting to improve now. I'm starting to gradually be able to increase my food quantities and the variety in food, which I have been able to eat. But, you know, it's going to take time. I'm by no means saying that I have recovered or have come out this journey. I'm very much still in this recovery period. It is slow, it is steady, but it is happening. And also when, you know, you're facing nutrient deficiency, there's so many other things that get, you know, that are affected by that, you know, just, you know, a lot of very extreme hair loss, you know, I was a yoga teacher prior, and I'd have to say that I felt I was in my peak fitness prior to getting COVID, and, you know, I've lost any muscle, any muscle mass at all, along with weight loss, nail weakness, skin gets affected. Everything is affected by that, but it is improving. And that keeps me, going. It keeps me focused because I do see these changes, and I am able to increase my meals now, and I know that it will improve in time. So probably the second most debilitating symptom for me was that my periods got very affected after long COVID, and I saw gynecologists, doctors, I was seeing a nutritional therapist, I got blood testing done, Dutch testing, and nothing, no one was able to help me at all. It sort of baffled everyone. We don't know what's going on. Scans showed nothing. Dutch testing did show some hormonal imbalance, but nothing that would explain the absolute horrific periods that I was having. The only thing that gave me some hope, and I've had no doctor confirm this, but Dr. Bean did quite a few very interesting videos where he talked about women and their menstrual cycle being affected by COVID, which is what I believe was happening to me. But again, this is just what I believe to be true. No one has confirmed this, but my blood was very affected. I never bled like this before. It was very thick, very viscous, very thick, bleeding, and it was, oh my god, the pain was unimaginable. My body would literally shut down due to the process of my period. It would set back my digestive issues. Like any progress that I had been able to make through my digestion was being compromised each month through my period. I'd struggle to eat for the first 3 days of my menstrual cycle every single month. I'd struggle to drink. I'd manage like 1 glass of water throughout a whole day, a few spoons of pureed food. So as you can imagine, my body each month would get extremely dehydrated, extremely weak through lack of eating, and then all my long COVID symptoms would intensify. So the chronic fatigue, the brain fog, the fibromyalgia, all of it would intensify each month, and no one was able to help me, and I felt so lost. No doctor, no therapist was able to help me, and I did feel so lost throughout that time. But the biggest and most encouraging improvement that has happened is that for the last 5-6 months consecutively, my periods have improved, and to the point that they are probably better now, like dare I say it, better now than they were prior to COVID. So if I ever needed any encouragement, anything to keep me going and know that I was on the right track, that is it. Because once my periods improved, I was able to make progress and maintain that progress because I didn't have this hindrance each and every month setting me back. Oh my gosh, and it feels so good because, even now on a day-to-day basis, it can be so bumpy. There's, the fatigue can be so intense on days that it's like, oh my gosh, am I making any progress? Like, is anything happening? And then I just think back to my periods. I'm like, if that has improved to such a high scale, like, of course it does. It keeps me hopeful. It keeps faith. It means I can keep faith and keep going each day, even when the days are so challenging. And the fact that I got out of bed and managed to shower, I'm just grateful for. There are definitely still days like that, but that for me is what keeps me just very positive and very determined to keep going. So in addition, just all the other little symptoms, I won't go into them too much. I say little, but yeah, they can really affect our lives. So my eyesight, I was experiencing eye floaters, especially when tired. So I haven't been driving now for just over a year. Together with the brain fog, I just didn't feel safe driving. It does affect our life. It does turn life upside down. But I have to say that, just very recently, I have been seeing some improvements, at least for myself, which does keep me very hopeful, does keep me very positive. So I think just to round this video off, I'll just share the things that I have learned. And firstly, the biggest lesson I learned was that for my body, slow and steady is the only way to go. When I first started this healing journey, thinking back just over a year ago, I was pretty much running around like a headless crazy chicken. any suggestion, any recommendation, any therapies or medications or protocols or herbs that anyone suggested to me might help, I was like jumping, yes, I'll try that, I'll try that, I'll try that, I'll try that. And it led me to crashing, the worst relapse of my life. It did not work for me at all. So now, if anything, I'm just taking everything in my stride, taking it slowly. Each new supplement I introduce, each new food I introduce, any medication, just take it really slow, give my body time to respond to it, give myself time to know whether it's working or not, and just trying one thing at a time. After my relapse, my body was the weakest it had ever been. So this is September 21. That's a huge relapse, which I'm only now starting to, I guess, come out of, starting to regain some strength. But that relapse did leave me the weakest that I have been in my life. And although my instinct was I need to take action, I need to try something new, for me it was just rest. Give my body time to recover from the ordeal that I put it through, simply from trying to heal and treat long COVID. And through rest, through taking things really back to basics with my diet, to let my digestion heal and rest, take it back to basics with supplements. And that is what's worked for me. So yeah, the other huge lesson I learned, because as I said, the first, I'd say, year of long COVID, I was very much in denial and clinging on to my work life, trying to maintain a semblance of a normal life. I did stop working, I think just over a year ago, and I didn't even make the decision myself. It was my nutritional therapist that I was seeing at the time who said, I really think you need to take 6 months out and just heal, because I was stuck on a vicious cycle. I got to the point that I had reduced my my classes to 1 class a week, and I'd teach that class, and then it would take me the whole week to recover. I'd literally be bedridden for a whole week. I'd get up the morning of my next class, and that would be the only time that I'd be able to stretch my body to do my class planning. And that's insane. And I was holding on to it as like a lifeboat. Like, this is my means, this is the only thing that's going to keep me alive. And it's been a year now, 6 months did turn into a year. I haven't gone back to work, but I am so much more confident, calm, accepting of that, because I have to say, at the beginning it was triggering. If I would see a friend, if I'd even see a doctor or one of the therapists that I was seeing for treatment, and they'd ask me, what did you do today, or what do you do for work, it would be so triggering. I felt so judged to stand there and say, well, actually, I'm not working, or I didn't do anything, or today I showered. And that was, for me, a huge success. I was surprised that I even managed that. But it's getting a lot easier for me now. When someone asks, what did you do today? I find it easy to say, no, today I showered, or today I did nothing, today I healed, today I rested, today I put all my energy into recovering, into taking care of my body. So for me, that's been huge progress. That's been leaps and bounds that I have taken in being able to just speak my truth, and to not feel so judged, and to feel more confident than ever in my decision to invest 100% of my time into recovery, because I tried it the other way. I tried, working, I tried fighting, I tried, and it didn't work. In fact, maybe it even set me back and prolonged the time scale that it would take me to recover. So more than ever, I do feel connected to my body, to my recovery more than ever. I feel calmer in my mind and more stable in my mind, more stable in my body. So if anything, if I ever needed any proof that I made the right decision, for me, that is it. So yeah, again, the biggest lesson I have learned is that our bodies are all unique. We cannot compare our recovery to anyone else's. my body is hypersensitive, especially now post-COVID, probably due to MCAS and mast cell activation, which results in hypersensitivity to everything, basically everything, which is where I am. I am hypersensitive to smells, sounds, fabrics, everything, foods, which, you know, for me has meant that I have had to be very careful. It's meant that recovery has been slow, which can be super frustrating, but it is happening. It's slow but steady. And I'm okay with that. I am resigned to the fact that it's going to take me time. It's taken 2+ years. It's probably going to take a little bit more time, but I am okay with that. I'm okay with it taking a little bit longer, with giving myself this time to heal without feeling rushed, without feeling like I need to prove myself to anyone, prove that what I'm doing works to anyone else but myself. I know it within me, I feel it within my body, within my mind, and yeah, that's all I can ask for. So I am going to end this video here. I hope it has been helpful in some way. Simply, you know, connecting one person to another, going through the same experiences. If there is anything though that I haven't spoken about or you'd like to hear about, kind comments below. I'll be happy to answer. And as always, wishing you so much love and healing, ongoing healing. May it just get easier and easier. And I hope to see you in a video soon.